Hey everybody, I'm Brian.
Hello everybody, this is Joe G.
Hey, I'm Shannon.
Hi, I'm Ron.
Hey, this is Steve.
Oh, and we can't forget about Marcel.
Oh, hey.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Trackside with Back on Track Team. First off, I'd like to welcome our special guest Claude for joining us on the show today. Good morning, Claude.
Good morning.
Apart from that, we have Steve Arnold, one of our usual mods, on chat today, and we also have Simon Saucy, who is currently doing a little something for the minute. So we did have some technical difficulties in the last 10-15 minutes, but I think we have sorted those bugs out. Apart from that, Steve, I'll let you take the reins for 2 seconds whilst I grab my phone and...
Alrighty, well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to episode 9 of Back on Trackside. Welcome, Claude. It is really cool to have you here this morning. How are you this morning?
I'm good. Appreciate you having me on. It's going to be fun this morning, I think.
Yeah, we're going to talk about mistakes. I think, you and I were talking about those, for about an hour yesterday or something. So we could fill a 2-hour show with mistakes. I know I've made a ton, and I think everybody else has. But I think the biggest mistake that we've got going right now is Simon. He was supposed to have an intermission video this morning, and so that's where Simon is this morning. He's filming the intermission video, so he should be jumping in here pretty quick. I think Shannon, you got a surprise behind you at some point, but I'm not sure about that.
Yeah. Okay. Now, in saying that, because of our full difficulties, this is how I'm going to be displaying chat to everyone for the minute. But yeah, so I'll be keeping an eye on chat. So yeah, today
we were talking about Colonel Murphy,
and that was a mistake, and it fits in with today's episode so well, because that's what
you mentioned him. He jumped in the room.
So yeah, so that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about mistakes that you've learnt from, mistakes that you've done, mistakes that you've kind of gone, oh crap, and nothing came about it. Like it happens. I've had it happen to me a few times. I think my biggest mistake personally for myself was when I decided to use some clear cast resin on a not completely sealed foam base. That was a very, very interesting and very costly mistake for me, and time consuming. But I'm pretty sure there'll be a lot of people out there that have had, their own mistakes, their things that they would have done differently. So, like Steve, I know you probably would have had some, and Claude, with your track work that I've seen, oh my God, I could not even imagine some of the mistakes you would have come across just doing track work.
Oh, tons of stuff. You ought to see the pile of turnouts that I haven't used.
Send them my way.
Of course, I had to learn how to do them to start with, but still, I get an idea in my head on doing a special turnout, and think I had it until I got it up and actually tried to test it with something, and it doesn't work that way.
Now, Claude, if you make a mistake with your turnouts, can you recycle parts of them, or are they basically trash?
Depends on if you cut or file the rail, and you can't reuse that piece in something else. But most of the time, I'll just make a new one. I have had some that I've got them all the way to the layout and actually hooked in and soldered in and wired up, and I'm getting a bump as the train goes through. Well, come to find out the flange way on one of the guardrails was too narrow. So in that case, I can take my pliers, hold the guardrail, take the soldering iron and unsolder from the PCB board, and let it move over just ever so slightly, and then take the soldering iron off until it cools, which doesn't take but a second, and you're good to go. So it's little adjustments like that you can make. But if you screw up on length or something like that on something, you either take it off, and sometimes if it's too long, you can just cut it off and put it back on. If it's too short, then you just got to make another one.
Yeah, because what you do, the way you make your turnouts in the jigs, I find that really fascinating because, I think I've told people before, I laid track with my dad at, learning as a kid, but they did it all in place. They didn't do jigs at all.
And that takes some time. That's much harder to do.
My dad was good at it. He did 10 and 12 long ladder lines, multiple ones in this layout that he was doing when I was growing up, and everyone was done in place. So yeah, I would never do that now. But the way you do it with the jigs, that's really cool. I like it. I see Simon jump back in.
Yep. Well, my biggest mistake was not recording our intermission video until 3 minutes ago.
That's your second biggest mistake.
Okay, the sculpt mold was not a mistake. It was strategically planned. If you want to get mad at Amazon because they sent me 4 boxes for the price of 1. And I've used 3 of them.
You could have plastered your room with it.
I plastered my layout.
Plastered your layout. Oh, man.
I used 3 boxes of it. I still have a box left. Although it's probably not enough. I'll need some more, most likely.
And that's what you'll forever be known for, Simon. Be using 50 pounds of bloody sculptor mold. How?
Hey.
Why? God knows only why.
Look, it's not like I paid for it. I only paid for 1.
No, you're paying for it by getting picked on for it.
Oh boy,
yeah, that's kind of fun.
He hasn't learned yet. He's still too young.
Yeah.
My biggest mistake was when I was in high school. I built a 4x12 layout in a 10 by 13 foot room, and in my bedroom. It was in my bedroom. My bed was in there, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that was my biggest mistake.
Wait, how is your bed in?
That was back in high school. It was a twin bed, so
that must have been squished.
Yeah, it was tight. It was really tight.
Well, I'd have to say my biggest mistake was once I got back into the hobby when I got retired from the railroad, moving up here 24 years ago, I had a garage. So it's like, I'm going to build a massive layout in the garage. And I got out the paper and I drew it out and I built it. I had, I think it was over 300 feet of main line plus yard. It was 3 loops. It took up a third of my garage, and it was massive. Then I had the wild hair. I was going to hand lay track on the whole thing. Big mistake. Big mistake. I cut all the ties. I cut all the homoso for the sub road bed. I had it all the way up to the bench work, and I had the lower loop laid and running well. I had all the sub. It was ready to go. Just if I had flex track, the whole thing would have been running.
Oh, flex track is a god saver.
Yeah, it does take much longer to hand lay it.
Oh man, that was so stupid trying to do that. And long story short is we needed a bedroom, so I had to pull the layout out, and I built a bedroom in half the garage. So I still have all the rail. I recycled all the wood. I saved all the wood. I don't have the ties anymore because I gave those to Joe G. Because he's going to be trying to hand lay some tracks. So I sent him some rail. I've got enough rail to make of probably 400 or 500 feet of track that I'm never
So-
going to use.
Do you have a layout right now, right?
I do. It's in my what used to be an office out in my shop when I had to tear the layout down and put the bedroom in the garage. Basically lost the ability to have all the power tools and my woodworking stuff. So I built a shop. Oh, I think it was in 2005, somewhere around there. It's I'm thinking it's 10 by 24, and part of that was an office that I made, and I had an old oak desk that my dad gave me years ago. It's an old railroad desk, and that's where this whole mess started, because I started with, like we said, an old HO switching layout a couple of years ago because I wanted to get back in the hobby. And I don't know if that was a mistake starting that. Maybe that was another mistake trying to get back into the hobby because now I'm out of control.
Yep. It's a disease.
Yeah.
It's not a hobby, it's a disease.
Sometimes it becomes an obsession because you got a project you want to get done, and it's like I got to get out there and get it done. Yeah. So maybe that's the biggest mistake, is also trying to do too much at one time and just keep going.
Well, you know you're too far gone when you're wake up in the middle of the night and your first thought in your head is something that's on the layout that you're thinking of doing, or you're trying to figure out the problem of, or it's already in your brain and that's the first thing you think of.
I've been doing that for the last couple of weeks with this ferry slip idea that I've got going, and I've been out trying to get that going. And actually, that's another mistake that I made. I thought
you said you didn't make any mistakes.
Oh no, I guess I made a mistake because I told you I didn't make any mistakes.
No, you just don't admit it. That's the trick. You learn how to lie through your teeth.
Well, I thought I had to make all these little tiny, I guess it would be ferry slip piers that would be about the size of a telephone pole. I'm figuring bamboo skewers. Okay, save money, bamboo skewers. I'm thinking, Brian Jones, man, Brian, you use them all the time. I thought that's cool. He had them all cut up and ready to go, and soaked them in stain. They don't take stain. You can soak them forever, and they don't take stain.
Yeah, bamboo won't soak it up.
It's like, man, this isn't working.
You gotta paint them.
Yeah, well, after I had this big clump of, bamboo skewers stuck together with stain, that it's like, this isn't gonna work. Went in the trash. Went out and got doused. Got those stained and put in, but that was a huge mistake.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brian. Appreciate that.
Yeah, actually, what was it? I remember I was talking to one of my mates down here in Victoria. He's got a massive layout. I'd say it's, how big would it be? 369. It's probably let's say 10 foot by 10 foot in a U shape with an island in the middle. And anyway, a few years ago, before I met him, one of the guys that used to run a couple of operations with him there suggested him to use graphite, and he used graphite powder, for better conductivity all over the track. Oh boy, that was a massive cleanup after that. I think.
Well, I'll tell you, if you use a graphite pencil, it does actually.
Yeah, it works good, but if you use graphite powder, it gets into everything. What happened? I had to repair one of his Athens big boys, which blew a capacitor for the sound, and I also had to completely disassemble, clean, and reassemble one of his Intermountain AC-12s. And I can tell you, trying to pull those two locos on their own apart, keep all the details, and not have a single handrail or, handrail holder fly off on you, like those are, one small mistake can lead to other bigger issues, which can end up being bigger mistakes.
Okay, so I have my number one biggest mistake. So when I did my 50 pounds of sculptor mold, I didn't have any painter's tape, so I put packing tape down. Now, when I go to pull said packing tape up, there's sticky left behind on tracks. And that's not conductive, so the trains stop, the trains can't move. And to clean it up, it takes a lot of alcohol and a lot of patience. And I'm still trying to clean it all up. I can only run one loop right now, because I haven't got to cleaning the rest of it up. So, and it was humid that day when I did it, so that added to it. And I left it on for like 3 months.
Well, what did you use to clean the rail? Maybe use,
just alcohol and a paper towel.
I don't know, man. I might be making another mistake, but try a tiny bit of acetone on a rag and just hit the top of the rails.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Wrap it around your finger and just wet the pad of your finger with it, and get just the top of the rail.
Yeah, because it'll shoot through anything. But
it'll shoot through plastic in a hurry.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it would. Actually, methylated spirits is another good one. Like it takes a little bit longer, but it's a little bit safer on the plastics, I found.
Yeah. Lacquer thinner works good.
Yeah. Oh, lacquer thinner. No, I've only had good experience with that with paint. Yeah.
Well, any of them, you want to make sure it stays right on top of the rail and you don't get it down anywhere else.
Yeah, no, I use enamel paints for mine, and I can tell you a few mistakes where I've, painted something, not paid attention, put my fingerprint on it, and then all of a sudden you just got this fingerprint stuck in the plastic. And I'm like, oh my god. So there I am with the sander, sandblasting, cleaning it, getting super glue, putting all the dots back on so it looks like it still has the rivets.
Oh yeah, how about super glue when you're gluing something really tiny and you have to hold it until it sets up? And then all of a sudden you can't get your fingers apart.
Or you super gluing something, you put it on there, and then 5 minutes later you look at it and go, where is it? You turn your hand around and it's on the back of your hand. And you're like...
Or how about when you got a small part? We were talking about coupler springs and losing small parts. How many times have we spent on hands and knees with a flashlight on the floor trying to find a tiny little part that fell on the floor?
Like those tiny little coupler springs?
I mean, how many times a day, or?
Actually, solution for that, which I'm still needing to get, just cheap white carpet. If you can get, a decent sized off cart, not that really brushy stuff, just that nice, woven stuff, like so you can, things drop on it and they don't fly. You just go and you go, oh, it's there, perfect.
Well, you can always get a turkey bag and put your project inside a turkey bag so that if something falls off, you can find it. You just can't see it.
Yeah, well, when you put your head in there so you can see it, you can't breathe. So
that would be another.
Oh, at this rate, you may as well just get a sandblasting box minus a sandblaster.
At that rate, why don't you just get a whole safe box? Make your house all.
Oh man, got something in the eye there. Geez, I'm just trying to think. Hang on.
Well,
anyway, yeah. Now just jumping back into chat because I know we've had some technical difficulties here, there, and everywhere. But I just realised one thing we forgot to do. We forgot to say hello to everyone in chat. So I'm just bringing it up now, unless one of you guys have it up on your screen already.
Oh, I've got it up. I can look here.
Yeah.
I haven't looked at chat this morning. We've got Leslie Gilpin from the UK. Welcome, Leslie. I think you said Windy UK. We got Dale PRR guy. We got Marty M. Boom. Welcome, Marty. Norman Rowe. Sparky 107 107. Oh boy, I tell you what, Ken Amos, Heavy J.
Got Eminem Shortline Railroad. He's on.
Yeah.
Barn Full of Trains. He's on there too.
We got Wilmer. Hello, Wilmer.
Mm.
Indian Dead Valley Railroad.
Yep. Now, in saying that, like I'm, seeing there's a few people in chat, a few regulars, whatnot. There are a couple of names in there I don't recognise, which is good. So obviously, we're starting to get more people on here. But which comes on to my next point, which is a little bit off track. So it's going off track for a little bit. But as you guys remember, if I can find it. So last week, what's going on here?
Uh-oh.
Where'd you go, Shannon?
I'm all good. I just had a message from Sparky. He's trying to tell me something, and I'm trying to read and do things at the same time. Anyway, so yeah, again, looking at chat last week. Yes, you can all see this. I wonder how many people are actually following the screen right now. So last week, as you guys know, we want to try and expand this channel a little bit, get more people onto this channel, more viewers, so that way we can, give back to you guys, the community, and so we can get more topics and more interactions with each other. And as a bit of a, what's the word I'm after? I forgot. As a bit of a, a reward, if you guys can help us, is, I've got this to give away. It's an N-scale DCC fitted RSC-2. And if we can get up to 55 viewers on a live stream by the end of February, we'll all... Yep. So it's about what? It's about 26 days now. I would, we'll open up a Google form thing that Simon can do. We'll get everyone in a name. Everyone can get their names in there, and we'll just do a random draw on whoever wants this. I think Joe G was doing a HO loco as well.
And then I'm gonna one up you and put a HO scale train in.
Yeah.
Right. And we've got something else. I've got something sitting out in the office that's also going to be going. I want to back up just off topic a little bit for the giveaway. I just want to remind everybody who the guests that we have. We've got Claude Chris, Cowboy Valley, and Timberline Junction Railroad. That's Claude's channel. So just want everybody to know that and check it out. Okay, so let's go back to I had to take care of that.
So don't forget, guys, this is on the line. Don't let us down, and I know you guys won't. So apart from that, what time is it?
Well, first of all, welcome, Claude. It's good to have you on.
Yep.
Thank you. It's nice to be here. I've enjoyed talking to Steve yesterday and this morning.
Got a new friend.
Geez, we're gonna have to upgrade to the bigger plan if we have so many people. We're meeting too many good people.
Yeah. Now.
We got it.
Yeah. Anyway, it's about intermission time. So now, Simon. Yes, you are in the spotlight today, aren't you?
Yeah, if I can figure out how to do this.
Well,
Keep talking for minutes.
Yeah, I know. I'm just staring at you. I'm trying to get those eyes to, we're all staring at you right now. We're eagerly waiting.
No need to stare. I don't know if I'm going to be able to.
You should be. Yeah, you should be able to play it. Like there is a share function, I think, on what we're using.
Yeah, but I don't know if whatever. We're gonna give this a shot.
Okay. If it pops up, I'll readjust the screen and
I don't know if the audio will come through.
if what came through?
The audio.
The audio. Well, I'm still looking at you.
Keep on talking for another 30 seconds, okay?
Okay. While we wait for those 30 seconds.
Why don't we have Claude tell us a little bit about himself and what he does?
Yeah, Claude.
About me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like what? Like what I do for a living?
No pressure.
Yeah, actually, what do you do
I don't
for a
actually
living?
do anything for a living, but no, I do home repair, small home repair. I work for myself. I've been doing that for 23 years now. My wife's got a really good job, and she's been in the same place for 35, and allowed me to be able to work for myself, which is really nice.
That's awesome.
She supports my hobbies. She doesn't like my hobbies necessarily, except that it gives me something to do and keeps me out of her hair. But
yeah, that's kind of a challenge when your significant other just doesn't understand trains.
Yeah. Well, she got me into the airplanes too, the RC airplanes first, and then.
Oh wow. Okay.
And but she has supported me and let me have the space upstairs to put the layout in and that kind of thing. I don't think she knew it was going to be as big as it is, but
They never do.
that's what happens.
4x8, 10x12 for the first
About
one.
that.
I'm going to only put one thing in the living room. Yeah.
One in the whole living room.
I don't get any train stuff in the living room. Now I do have a picture I just put up that I got in. Actually got this at the Model Railroad Museum in Greeley, Colorado when we were there last summer. And I've got some other stuff I get to put in the office, but I don't get to put anything up in the house.
I'm lucky to put.
That's her domain.
Well, one of my friends from Model Airplanes, he's older and he has a lot of airplanes. So the wife gave him the basement and the dining room table for his battery charging station, but she gets the whole bedroom and the whole living room. So they have a little thing going on.
Well, if he's doing lipo batteries, his wife doesn't understand how dangerous those are.
Yeah.
Or she wouldn't let him do them there.
He has all the safe boxes and stuff, but it's like the whole, like a decent sized living room table. I was like, wow, you have enough batteries to sink a ship. A small one for a ship. Or blow one up. You can blow up a big ship.
But anyway, yeah.
Hey, Simon, do you have that video up? Sorry to interrupt you, Claude.
No, go ahead.
2 minutes.
2 minutes, okay. Okay, you talk amongst yourselves for a minute. I've got to clean my eye out.
Yeah, I got interested in model trains when I was about 5 or 6, I guess. We lived in Southern California. My dad took me to the LA County Fair, and in the building, they have a building there that's pretty good size, and they had a train. To me, it seemed like it covered the entire building, but it was a model of the Sierra Nevada mountains, and they had trains running all through this thing, and I was just enthralled. Now, this has been 55 years ago, 56 years ago. So
well, I can totally relate to that because I grew up in a massive model railroad. Like I said, my dad hand laid track, and this was in the Alameda County Fairgrounds in Pleasanton, California. And
yeah,
they
the same place probably.
Yeah, it could be because the fairgrounds gave them. I can't even describe how big it was. It was an old, basically a shed, I guess, but the thing was just huge. Yeah. And they gave it to them with the only agreement that they had to be open for the 2 weeks of the fair.
Yeah, that was probably the place.
Okay.
I'll bet that was the place because I still remember it and walking up and seeing all the miniatures stuff, and I was just enthralled with all the little mini scenes and stuff that they had.
It was separated in two halves. You had the HO on one half, and you had O scale on the other half. And That's what I grew up with. We went down to the fair 2 weeks out of the year, and because we got free passes for all the rides and entrance, and the model railroad was our base that we came back to after getting in trouble at the fairgrounds. This was all in the 60s and early 70s.
Yeah, that would have been, for me, it would have been 64, 65, 63, 64, 65, somewhere in there.
Yeah, it's probably the same place. And so, yeah, I grew up model railroading and then went really railroading. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. There we go. Hi, Shannon. Or no, it's not.
What the hell just happened? What did you just do?
I didn't.
What?
Jesus.
What is that?
All right, now Simon, how are we
Yeah.
going? Or
We're doing fine.
Simon's
where's
taking
this
control.
intermission video?
What intermission video? What are you talking about?
Simon,
This intermission video?
Is this your 50 pounds of sculpted mold?
Yeah. You ready?
yes. Okay, just let me do a screen capture smart selection, and we're gonna go.
Well, good morning, everyone. So I was nominated to this week's intermission video, so I'm going to give you a tour of my mountain, or layout in progress, whatever you want to call it. So this layout is based off of a railroad in Utah off a ski area. So this main mountain I have done is the ski area. Over here will be the town where that giant box of sculpted mold is. This will all be the town that's unfinished. But over here is our main hill. So we're going to start up with the top. So all the way up here, there's going to be a pond here. I've leveled it out with plaster to make sure the pond material flows correctly. There'll then be a building that I've put a foundation on. And you can see the train enters and exits these two spots. There will also be working lifts. So over here I have ideas where I want the lifts. There's going to be a lift that runs up to there and one over there. There should be 2 to 3 lifts that service the mountain. For all y'all who are wondering, right in here is where that 10 to 8 inches of sculpt mold is. It'll have about 4 trails. I'm putting it into the late fall, early winter, so there'll still be some grass, but not a whole ton of grass, because I like the mid-season. So I'm going to be using snow on it. There's going to be groomers, like you see at a rail ski area. Obviously snow machines and working lifts. That's the big thing I want for this, is working lifts. So essentially, this is all the mountain. There's a trail that runs up here, one in here, and one over there. There'll be trees all in between. Now over here, I had set up for expansion, so if I want to expand this way, I can. I've planned that out. It's a very simple loop, nothing complex. I had a very complex one before on the same layout, but I totally tore it down. I wanted something more complex and easier to do. The base of it is, it's a 2x4, then half-inch foam, half-inch plywood, then inch foam, and then there is Woodland Scenics risers on top of cork and Atlas track with Kato switches. It's all running the NCE DCC system, which will soon be upgraded to work with the computer. It runs pretty well. It's not amazing, still working out some kinks. As you can see, there's part of the train and there's the other part of the train. But we're working through it. It's going to be fun. Hopefully I'll be able to start scenery soon. I really want to make this as realistic as I can. But again, over here there's supposed to be a town. Obviously there's no town. And these tracks that run through the mountain are fictional. Completely fictional. This main line goes up and extends out into the wall. And same over here. That's the only thing that is correct about this. Everything else is fictional because there's no tracks to make a runnable loop. Hopefully my plan for expansion here is to add a town and a switching yard. But yeah, that is this week's intermission.
Jesus Christ.
Shannon.
Simon, were you running a bloody marathon when you recorded that?
Yeah.
It's no wonder you were gone forever.
Jesus, it was just like bang, 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 bang. Oh, now in saying that, just before we do keep going with our topic today, just remember, guys, if you want to email us, our email is just running across the screen just there. So yeah, just email us any videos, photos, or anything really that you want us to do for intermission. You know, even if it's just a YouTube, your YouTube channel video, just go throw this video up, play it, and we will. So as the email just slowly scrolls across that screen.
Not anything. It must be PG and related to model railroading.
Why are you
It
ruining
should
it
be
for us, Simon? Why? Yeah. So our email's backontrackmoderators@gmail.com. So yeah, if you want to just send us an email, as I said, anything, photos, videos, or your YouTube video channel link that you want us to display in that slot, and yeah, we'll give you a shout out as well.
Yeah, and we're not getting a lot of people sending in. Come on, guys, send stuff in.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to see Simon.
No one wants to see me.
Oh my God.
I'll get working on it soon. But the 50 sculpt will totally not look if a bomb goes off. I can just go hide under my layout.
Yeah.
Oh God, Jesus. I don't understand. Anyway, so let's get back on track now. So,
What are some of the mistakes that are showing up in chat? I haven't even looked at chat.
Well, one I saw from Michael McCarville said one of his mistakes was not putting enough legs under his bench work so that when it sagged, all the cars rolled together.
Oh, I can't say I've ever seen that before. Wow. Just wow. That my mind's just been blown. My mind has been blown. Wow. I need a minute. I need a minute to think about that.
Well, you could make a bowl yard where you got a hump, and roll things off the hump and down into the bowl.
Actually, I'm starting to get a couple of messages from Brian, who currently isn't with us today because he's got a few things going on. He was just asking to ask you, Claude, about your trestle bridge you're building. What's going on there?
I haven't actually started it yet. I was talking about it on my last update that I did yesterday, but I haven't started it yet. There'll actually be a couple of timber trestles, none of them prototype, of course, and there'll be one steel trestle on the standard gauge, but the narrow gauge will have at least two timber trestles. One of them's going to be about 4 foot long. The other one will be about 3 foot long.
Yeah.
So
yeah, because thinking
it'll
about
be a lot of fun to build.
Yeah, because thinking about that, like, with Brian mentioning it, like, I can just see, because of the scale you model, there's just so many possibilities for so many mistakes with, mismeasuring pieces of wood, not having A-frames glued the correct way, like, do you have, like, a plan on how to avoid doing these kind of mistakes, or?
Oh, sure. Actually, I watch Michael McCarville's channel. He does really good on his structures, and he did some timber trestles. That's how I found his channel. But yeah, you just plan it out a little bit. You know what height you're going to be, so and then you just plan out how far apart they're going to be, and you can go accordingly. It also depends on the terrain that you're around, what you're going to have there. You build of course, a jig for all your legs on your trestle. So those are all coming out the same, and then all you have to do is adjust the height on them. For the most part, just depends on what you want to build out of it and how high it's going to be. The 4 foot long one will only be about 20 or 30 scale feet high at the highest end. The shorter one, I'm going to try and make it closer to 100 feet, something like that at the deepest end. But that'll be just right in the middle. So we'll see how it comes out. But yeah, you just build a jig and build all the parts that way. Get them all cut, and then I'll cut them all and then stain them all the wood, and then put it together.
I'm curious, Claude, about talking about mistakes would be wiring. I would think it is a massive wiring project doing your dual gauge turnouts. Is that a problem?
It's really not. The dual gauge turnouts really don't wire any different. Now on some of them, you've got two frogs that you have to deal with. But the frog is going to be wired, both frogs will be wired the same. So when you hook them to your tortoise, I run leads off of both of those and run them into the same spot on the tortoise. And it automatically, when the points throw, it throws that. That's one reason I did not solder my leads to my tortoise machines. I'm using the snaps that go on there, and then put them in a little screw receptacle, tighten the screw down. Makes it real easy to change the wiring if you have to for your polarity on stuff. And I've had to do that several times, but it's kind of fun to figure it out. I'm not an electrician by any means, but it's kind of fun to try and figure all that stuff out.
Well, I think that's one thing about this hobby. You almost have to be a kind of a closet electrician sometimes to figure this out.
Oh yeah, well that's the nice thing about the hobby. There's something for everybody. You got bench building and electronics and model building and train viewing and all that scenery building, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and artwork. I mean, try to figure out colors. Blending colors if you're trying to weather things and do your scenery. So that's
exactly.
I'm finding that right now to be a new side of the hobby I've never really dealt with is trying to do scenery and color things. And that's becoming a bit of a learning curve.
Yeah, I watch Luke over and over and over, Luke Talon over and over and over to try and get some of that right, but I still don't do it as well as he does.
Yeah. Now just looking through chat, just having a quick squiz to see what's on there. Norman Rowe says his biggest mistake was wrong scale for the space he has. Leslie Gilpin, buy new stock that's higher than existing clearance and still no double stacks. Now this one's a little bit amusing because this is kind of what happened to me with the clear cast resin and my foam top. This is from Dale PRR Guy Base. My biggest was spraying a large mountain of white foam with enamel paint from a spray can. I thought I had set the house on fire. It was smoking so bad and it melted into a big blob.
Oh man.
So
that would not be good.
Like mine didn't go into a blob. It kind of did the reverse. It kind of just ate away and became hollow. So I can relate to what Dale's going on there. And N-Scale Cogent Subdivision. I've learned to do my research before tackling something new. Lots of great how-tos out there. Now makes it easy as anything.
Well, I saw a video of someone who used.
We need you on here.
Who?
Shannon, just N-Scale Cajon Subdivision. I forget your first name.
Okay.
We need you on here. We need you.
I heard a story of someone who was having his house spray foamed, like the insulation, and he had a railroad, so he had the guy come spray it, but apparently the guy sprayed too much, so apparently his whole layout got covered. He just put it in a little bit, but just went. Yeah, just imagine.
Oh, geez.
How do you explain to people that you burned your house down building a model railroad?
I tried to spray paint on my home.
Yeah. No, that's why.
Do a fire hazard.
And that is why it's so hard to insure your model railroads as well.
Wait, you can bring a model railroad?
Yeah, mine's insured under house and content.
I should get mine insured.
Well, I think if the insurance companies find out that we have model railroad, they're going to cover us.
Actually, I think there is one company in the US that does specialize in hobbies. Cars, toys, all that stuff.
State Farm. I had drone steal.
Ooh.
No,
Yeah.
if you should be worried about anything, you should be worried about your RC batteries more than your layout.
Yeah.
Prime
Now-
and ready.
Yeah. Now I'm just having a look through chat at the moment. We have so far got 38 viewers right now, so just just trying to push your buttons there, guys. We need 12 more people. 12 more.
12 more.
Yep. So I'm gonna keep an eye on it the next couple of weeks now. So we'll see how that goes. Is there anything else? Oh, Brian's on chat as well now.
Yeah, I just want to tell Brian, hey Brian, this right here is for you. That picture right here.
Yeah, he'll see that. He'll see that. We'll zoom in on it a bit after. I'm just trying to think. What are other mistakes? Actually, not planning
No, wait a
properly
minute.
is another big mistake.
Norman says we have to stop picking on you.
Me?
On
No,
me?
Shannon. No, we can't pick on you because 2 in the morning.
No, it doesn't.
Oh
work
no,
that way.
because every time I'm looking at chat, I'm like this, and when I'm like this, it's like I've passed out.
Well, should I tell everybody what your nickname is?
Oh no, you don't. No.
Oh, tell him.
Yeah. Otherwise, you know what's gonna happen? Otherwise, this is gonna go from a PG video to a M or rated R video very quickly.
Oh, it won't have to go that way if you don't say anything.
Exactly. Now, I was trying to look through chat and I lost my spot. Where am I?
I don't know where you are.
Norman Rose says shoot videos and photos of all your stuff for insurance reasons.
Yeah.
That I do.
Yeah. So like that's the one thing a lot of people actually don't take into account, and it does. Our hobby is very costly, and I guess one of the mistakes is in some form of way not insuring it. That's what I was trying to get my point to.
Well, yeah, and remembering what you have. I mean, that goes way beyond the model railroading. And yeah, video.
Yeah, and
because
I mean, we probably have tens of thousands of dollars, some of us.
Yeah, and you don't remember it all.
No.
And that would be a massive mistake.
Yeah, actually, I remember it because, take note, people, stock take everything you have, including equipment. Because sometimes, just to show you guys one of my projects, because you can't buy that.
No. That's all hand built.
Well, it's not completely hand built, but partially.
Well, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, a few hours got into that.
Imagine. Like if our house were to burn down, like all my model railroad stuff I have, but I don't know. I have a ton of stuff under the layout that I don't know. All my train and drone stuff, that would be easily into the tens of thousands, I bet. Easily.
Well, and try to remember that. God forsake it would happen, but if you did lose everything, you have to remember what you have.
Yeah. I know it happens. I mean, look what happens to the clubs up in England with those three or four vandals. Like luckily, a lot of the model railroad community got behind them and supported them, but unfortunately, it's not really a mistake we're responsible for, but it is something to look into. It's something people should really look into to make sure if the mistake does happen, that does make a massive cost that you do have to claim some sort of insurance on it. Go do it.
And some insurances, like some, I know, like ours, there's it'll cover the value of the thing or the cost to replace it. And like if you have more expensive things, you have to document that for the insurance company so they know that you have $10,000 worth of train stuff. That's not normal.
Right. Yeah, you got to get a rider for it.
Yeah. Exactly.
should do that kind of stuff.
Now, we've got a few minutes left. I'm just trying to think, is there any other mistakes that we can think of that might happen? I'm just trying to think.
Oh, I'm sure we can come up with some. But I do know that we're getting, close to the end of the show. We still got some time, but I think probably now's a good time for, people to promote their channels and put your sub counts out.
Like I know Brian usually goes through, all the channel dates and whatnot, but at the moment, I don't know what they are.
I can't remember.
Yeah. We'll leave that for Brian to, repeat next week. But since Brian's actually in the chat, he could probably do it right now for us in the chat.
Yeah. Well, one last thing. Sparky says it is CPD, but they will not pay 1,000% of your insurance of your stuff. The insurance companies think of it as toys, therefore only a couple hundreds of dollars.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It is a bit crazy, but if you think about it, my insurance company, or the insurance I go through, they have somewhat of an idea, and I've got all my equipment insured for up to 30. I think it's up to 38,000 now that it's insured for.
Wow. Yeah, and another thing you have to be aware with, like, I have a different topic, but like I have all my drone stuff insured, and I have to insure it for almost double because I have older stuff that's nice, but they don't sell it anymore. So to upgrade to the newest one, it would cost more, and I can't insure it I have to insure it for more than it's worth.
So you got a replacement value then, basically.
Yeah, I have to do replacement value for it. And I have to do more than replacement value because it's hard to find the exact same thing to replace, so.
Yeah. Actually, here we go. I've got one last chat thing that's come through. Thanks to Sparky. Joey, sorry if I'm butchering your name. I don't mean to. Joey Buksek, I think is how you pronounce it. Buksek. My biggest mistake was going too big too soon and spent lots of time and money on something I just tore down and started over.
Boom, there you go. I did the same thing.
Yep. Probably one of the biggest mistakes, and we can all pretty much relate.
Yeah, that's one of those things that's just a rite of passage if you're in my railroad.
Yeah, pretty much. So let's see. Oh, thank you, Simon, for that. I'm just looking through chat. I see Simon's putting the documents up for the travelling boxcar that we've still got in the works. Hopefully, when are we looking to get that sorted out, Simon?
Right now we have 10 submissions. I'm looking for about 15.
Okay, so Joe G's got to really, start hauling a little bit.
Yeah. We can do it with 10, but I think it would last longer if we have 15. Obviously, we can keep going on, but I want to be able to have people lined up. I mean, I'm already seeing people that live there's a few people, I won't mention their names, that live in the same town that probably know each other, maybe not.
Yeah.
So I risk getting everyone so we can have the shortest possible route for the boxcar to travel.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I reckon 15 people would be nice because that'll at least keep us busy for probably, 8 weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah,
yep.
So 8 weeks, 8 episodes. That's an estimate, so I don't know. It just depends on postman. Just going through chat. What else are we missing?
We have, if you want to be on the show, I can put that link up.
Yeah, and yeah, I'm just going to remind everyone, let's try and get 50 people on the live stream in chat next week. We're only 12 short, and I'll be giving this away, and a couple of the other guys will be giving a couple of other things away as well.
Yep. Yeah, make sure to join us and go ahead and promote your channels. Let's get links, sub counts, whatever. It's that time of day.
I'm just going to chuck our email on there. 2 seconds. Let me just fix that.
Well, I'll tell you what, they want to know your nickname. Well, I've got you. I'm looking in the chat. They want
No, because I've got enough nicknames to deal with. I don't have enough space in my head to mentally remember more nicknames. Okay. In Australia, it's an Australian thing that you abuse your mates. You don't call them by their real name rarely. You know, the only, like, to give you an example, the only time I refer to my boss by his name is when I'm talking to a stranger and go, oh, my boss, Chris. Because otherwise, it's, I just go, oh, Macca. And, everyone looks at me like, who? What? Yeah?
There you go.
But,
No. Because then you'll find out what my nickname is, and I don't want anybody to know that either.
I can tell you what mine is. With the first name Claude, I got called Claude Hopper. So Hopper kind of became my nickname. Of course, I got other things too, but
actually, in saying that, before the chat does close, let's just have a look. Whoever's still in chat right now, someone quickly just chuck a couple of topics down for us to maybe talk about next week. I'll do a screenshot of it.
Yeah.
So I'm on my phone. See, there's a chat.
Here's one mistake. We got, and forgive me, I forget your first name, N-Scale Cajon Subdivision, and we want you on here, please. My first layout mistake was starting to build mountains over track without properly testing the track for every type of loco I eventually would run. I had to cut into it later and redo the track. So that is a big mistake.
I'm just looking at chat. Chat's gotten very quiet very quickly all of a sudden.
34.
Rick Bailey's got 122 subs. He's up 13 this week. That's awesome, Rick.
Actually, Indian Head Valley Railroad, not bad on Monday, on track Tuesdays, which he's hosting this week, he says. And now my other eye is starting to get itchy and irritated.
Well, hold it together.
Well, we got Marty M's got 138, Barn Full of Trains 144, Ken Griffith Jr. 132, Dale 122, Sunday Coffee, sorry. Let's see. John, Goose Valley 304, Dwight Curley 143. Brian's up 13 this week. Congratulations, Brian. Chuck 151, CDPR, CDP 1965, William A 295, Mike McCarville 1096. This is going by so fast. Bill New Fenris 189, Ken Amos 71, Sparky 3092. Holy coly, whoa.
Now, just on that note, whilst you're looking through chat, Steve, Sparky just came up with a good subject for next week. Why do we model what we model? What drives us, inspires us for our layouts? So
that's good.
That's a good one.
Yep, so I've screenshotted that. Indian Head Valley, scratch building, not so scary, good subject for a show. Screenshot that. Norman Rowe, prototypical of freelance. Okay, I've got a couple there, so I've just screenshotted those. So I guess us, the team, will discuss which ones we'll do over the next few weeks. That actually probably worked a lot better than the email personally, asking everyone right there and then.
There you go.
Okay, well, we're coming to the end of this week's show.
Yeah, so... Alright. So anyway, so let's do that. And
well, I want to personally thank you for coming in here, Claude. That it's awesome. I get to chat with you guys, a little bit before the show and get to know you, and And you're another great friend, and I really appreciate it. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I look
It
forward
was my
to it.
pleasure. Enjoyed it immensely. Even all the glitches and
conversations. It's awesome. So,
yeah, anytime you need somebody, most of the time I'll be available. So
that's awesome. Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
everybody have a good week.
Yep. Remember, don't forget to subscribe, thumbs up the channel, and tell your friends, get them on here. As I said, we only need 12 more people on average, maybe say 15 more people on the live stream chat, so that way we can start doing giveaways for you guys. And yeah, we'll see you here all next week for another episode of Trackside with the Back on Track team.
Okay.
All right, thank you everyone for coming. Thank you again, Claude. Thanks, Simon. Thanks, Steve, for being here today.
Thank you, Shannon, for coming at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I had to put a new battery in the clock this morning, so.
I think it's closer to 3, but yeah.
Oh, it's 3 o'clock. There you go.
There you go. Closer to 3.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, guys. We'll see you all again next week, and yeah, enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Take care.
Guys.
All right. Bye.